You know that feeling when you're starting something huge? A company, a book, maybe even just a total life reboot? Have you ever noticed how they all seem to follow this secret pattern? Well, it turns out they do. And today, we're going to look at how the 22 cards of the Tarot's Major Arcana tell that exact story. It's like a hidden roadmap for any creator's journey, from that first crazy idea all the way to the finished masterpiece. Okay, so let's just dive right in with this idea. This quote, it absolutely nails the feeling of the beginning. See, zero isn't about having nothing. It's about having everything. It's the pure, untapped potential of a blank page, a clean slate. It's the single point where anything, and I mean anything, can be born. And this is where our story really kicks off. To make this real, we're going to follow a writer, let's call him Charles, on his journey. His path to writing a book is going to mirror this universal map, starting with that one terrifying, totally exhilarating leap of faith. Every single great journey, yours included, starts right here, with being the fool. It's that moment you finally quit the job, or type that very first sentence, or just commit to an idea that sounds completely insane to everyone else. For Charles, it's deciding to write his book. It's about stepping right off the cliff of everything you know, with nothing but blind faith and this wild belief that you'll figure out how to fly on the way down. So, you've jumped. You're in midair. Now what? You can't just build a new reality on faith alone, right? The fool has to become a craftsman. You have to learn how to actually wield the fundamental forces of creation, the tools you're going to need to give that big dream some real shape. What's so amazing is that the first two tools we get are total opposites. On one hand, you've got the magician. This is pure, focused action. It's that I will energy that takes an idea from the sky and literally makes it happen on Earth. But that has to be balanced by the high priestess. She's all about that deep, intuitive knowing, the quiet voice inside that says wait, or that gut feeling you just can't shake. You need both. You absolutely need the power to act, but also the wisdom to know when to listen. And that pattern of balance continues with the next two pillars of creation. First, you have the Empress. She is nurturing, creativity, abundance. She's like a fertile garden where ideas can just grow wild and free. But, without the Emperor, that garden just becomes a tangled mess. He's the one who provides the architecture, the discipline, the structure. We're talking deadlines, outlines, a business plan. He protects and shapes all that wild growth into something that can actually last. Okay, so you've got your tools, you've got your structure, things are actually moving. And then, bam, you hit the hard part. It's inevitable. The journey suddenly turns from building to just surviving. This is where every traveler gets tested by crisis, by tough choices, and by a storm that feels like it could tear everything down. And here it is, the first great test. The Lover's card. It's not really just about romance. It's about committing to a single vision. For our writer, Charles, this was the moment he had to choose what his book was really about. And in doing that, he had to kill all the other books it could have been. See, to choose one identity for your project, or for yourself, is to finally define what you stand for. It's a painful choice, but it's a necessary one. And this is what defines the entire middle of the journey. Because from this point on, every single step forward is going to have a cost. Every gain requires letting something go. Your ego, your bad habits, those comfortable illusions you've been holding on to. Growth is never free. This quote just perfectly captures the essence of justice. It's the universe's law of cause and effect. You could call it karma. It's that moment of radical accountability where you finally realize your project's failures or successes, they're not about luck. They are a direct result of your own integrity, your effort, and your honesty. You get back exactly what you put in. So what happens when you hit a wall? I mean, every single creator knows this feeling, right? Of just being completely stuck. Well, the Hanged Man teaches us that the solution isn't to just push harder. It's to stop, to hang upside down, to completely surrender. It is only by letting go of control that we make space for the breakthrough to find us. And sometimes that breakthrough, it isn't a gentle whisper. It's a lightning bolt. The Tower is probably the most feared and misunderstood card in the whole deck. It's the sudden, violent collapse of everything you thought was true. The company fails, the manuscript gets rejected, the relationship ends. It feels like total, utter destruction. But in all that rubble, you find freedom. This is the raw, brutal truth of that Tower moment. When your entire foundation is collapsing, your ego will desperately, comically, try to save the trivial stuff. Your reputation, your pride, the curtains. But the tower just burns it all away, forcing you to see what is truly essential and what was just decoration all along. So after the fire, there's silence. Your ego is shattered. The old structures are just gone. And now the journey shifts. It's no longer about deconstruction. It's about healing. It's about finding your way back from the wreckage. And this time, you're guided by a new, much quieter light. This recovery, it actually follows a really clear celestial path. It all begins with the star, just a single glimmer of hope in the deep darkness. From there, you have to navigate the murky, confusing waters of the moon, facing all the illusions and fears in your own subconscious. And only after you make that journey through the night can you finally emerge into the sun, into the beautiful, warm, undeniable light of clarity. And this is the beautiful promise of the star card, that very first step of healing. See, after the tower has ripped her roof off, you're broken, sure, but for the first time, you can actually see the sky. This is that moment you reconnect with a sense of hope, a kind of cosmic guidance that was always there, just waiting for you to finally look up. So you face the storm, you've healed the wounds, and now we get to the final act. This is the grand synthesis, where all the lessons, the pain, the joy, the breakthroughs are all integrated into one triumphant, completed whole. The judgment card isn't what it sounds like. It's not about being graded on how well you did. It's a resurrection. It's that moment you finally forgive your past self. You gather all the broken pieces of your journey, and you answer your true calling. For Charles, it was realizing he wasn't just writing a book. He was fulfilling the purpose he was born for. And so we arrive at the final card, the world. This represents the successful completion of the entire cycle. You did it. The book is finished, the company is launched, the new life has begun. All that pure, chaotic potential of the Fool is now a beautiful, tangible reality. It's a moment for celebration, for mastery, and for perfect integration. But here's the final, brilliant twist. The World card sits right next to the Fool. Completion is never really the end. It's just the starting point for a brand new and this time much wiser journey. The great work is done. You've reached the summit. So, after everything you've learned, are you ready to be the Fool all over again?